All right, in this explainer, we're going to break down a really powerful idea from legendary fintech investor Mickey Malla. It's all about how our digital world is being completely rebuilt one token at a time. This is a vision that actually connects AI, crypto, and even the nature of money itself into one single cohesive picture of the future.
Okay, let's just dive right in with a statement that pretty much upends how we think about value. The idea here that money, just as a number sitting in a bank account, is basically becoming obsolete. For money to have real value going forward, it has to carry information along with it. Things like rules, context, and knowledge.
So how do we get to that future? Well, the key is this one concept, tokenization. And look, this isn't just about crypto. It's about turning everything, I mean everything, from your driver's license to the financial advice you get into standardized little packets of information that machines can finally understand and trade. This right here, this is the foundational layer for a whole new kind of internet.
Now, what's so interesting about all this is that this radical idea didn't come from some quiet, comfortable boardroom in Silicon Valley. No, it was actually forged by someone who witnessed the complete and utter collapse of a country's financial system firsthand. You see, growing up in Venezuela in the 80s and 90s, Malla saw it all. Hyperinflation, bank failures, you name it. He calls it his masters in life. And that experience gave him this deep, almost visceral understanding of just how fragile traditional money can be. It's really what prepared him to see the need for a totally new system, decades before almost anyone else.
So how do you actually put a vision like that into action?
Well, it wasn't about one single big idea. It was about strategically investing, piece by piece, in all the individual components that would eventually come together to form a new financial backbone for the entire world. And this just illustrates that core shift perfectly. We are moving from a world where banks told you it was your money, but let's be honest, they controlled it, to a world where you actually own and control it. It's a fundamental shift from these slow, siloed systems where money and information are two different things to a new, integrated system where they are basically one and the same.
His early investment in Robinhood is a perfect example of this idea in practice. He didn't just see another trading app, he saw a team that had three absolutely crucial ingredients. 1, they deeply understood their own generation. 2, they knew the technical plumbing of the financial system inside and out. And 3, they just had incredible taste. They knew how to make something super complex feel simple and beautiful, and that was the real key to financializing an entire generation.
So here's the crucial point. Around 2018, Malla's firm had this big realization. Talking about fintech and crypto as two separate things was just a mistake. They are converging. They are becoming the exact same set of rails, the essential infrastructure that is going to power this new, tokenized Internet of Value. Okay, now what's really cool about this next section is how we can use a single, really powerful metaphor to understand how this whole new economy works, from everyone from Google and Visa all the way down to the tiniest startup.
And that metaphor is the token factory. The idea is that every single company is basically becoming a factory. It takes in different kinds of tokens as its raw materials, it processes them, and then it spits out new, more valuable tokens on the other side. It's a completely different way of thinking about what a business actually does. And these right here, these are the 4 foundational inputs for any token factory. First, you've got identity tokens, which represent who you are. Then you have knowledge tokens, which represent expert advice or services, basically what you know. Then, of course, you have asset tokens, representing what you own. And finally, you have real-world tokens, things like energy and computing power, which are the resources needed to make the whole thing run.
And when you combine all those foundational tokens, you get this incredibly profound result. For the first time in history, 3 fundamental forces of our world are completely locked together. You have money from the asset tokens, knowledge from the knowledge tokens, and the energy from our real-world tokens. In this new world, they are totally interdependent. You literally cannot have one without the other two.
So the big question is, why does all this technical stuff matter? Why should we care? Because this new tokenized world is about to create what Malla calls the agent economy. And believe me, it will fundamentally change how we live, how we work, and how we interact with all technology.
So in this new economy, your personal data, I'm talking every photo you've ever taken, every conversation you've had, it becomes a valuable tokenized asset that you can actually sell or trade. And the employment model? It gets completely flipped on its head. Autonomous AI programs, these agents, will start hiring us, humans, for specific tasks. But to get there, we're going to need brand new interfaces, because trying to interact with these powerful agents through our phones is already starting to feel pretty clumsy and outdated.
And all of this culminates in a future where the internet itself is basically operating as one giant interconnected marketplace. It's a place where every single type of token, whether it represents your identity, an asset, or a piece of your data, can be seamlessly bought, sold, and transferred by both humans and AI agents.
You know, we can already see the cultural echoes of this massive technological shift. They say artists are often the ones who tell us about the future before it actually arrives. And if you think about it, digital art, at its very core, is the cultural story of this new reality. A world where value, identity, and creativity can all be captured inside a token. So, we are moving from an internet of information to a new internet of value. And it's being powered by this incredible convergence of AI and crypto. And all of this leaves us with one final, pretty provocative thought. In this rapidly approaching agent economy, what does it mean for us when our next boss isn't a person, but a piece of code?